Hey, pilots! Welcome to another exciting episode of War Robots Domination, a series of helpful gameplay tutorials designed to help highlight the tactics and strategies that I use to help tip the scales of my favorite game, War Robots. Each episode will feature a handful of battles along with helpful commentary that'll provide insight as to what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. I'm your host, Gotchure Beacons, and I've been playing this awesome game for a few years now, and I've learned a few tricks along the way that I'd love to share with y'all. You'll notice that although my hangar is fairly basic and at lower levels, I've been able to climb it up to Expert League. So I believe that you'll find my tactics will help you do more with less, which can be very helpful with today's economy in the game. I should also mention that this is my second account, so don't let my career profile stats fool you. This is actually my baby account, but it sends a great message to pilots who feel they need to chase the current meta in order to be competitive in battle, because you don't. Wise gameplay can usually overcome any fancy gimmick. A death button is a great example. It can still melt just about any build, and its heritage stems all the way back to nearly the beginning of the game. It's all about knowing when to use it and how to use it. So, without further ado, I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy today's episodes while I walk you through my gameplay tactics and share with you my mindset in battle. I hope you find it entertaining, helpful, and fun to watch. I think you will. I'm going to call this battle Speedy Rescue, and it's got a great message in it, guys. Enjoy my friends in the background and status as they play their awesome song November, one of my favorites. You know, I mentioned in an earlier battle that I call myself a beekeeper, the beacon keeper. It's about, keeping an eye on the beacons and watching what's going on. I start off most battles with some kind of a way of monitoring, especially these big open maps or maps where I can monitor 2 or 3 beacons with major pain here. I call this an open map deck. I've got one range bot. It looks like there's another guy that has the same idea. Maybe he's seen a few of my videos. Maybe I got a fan next to me. But when you're gonna do any of this, all of it is behind watching the beacons. If you're not monitoring the beacons, if you're not keeping an eye on the beacons like he's not doing right now, then you're not doing it right. If you're not pulling your weight, it's not about damage. It is about monitoring the beacons. It's about not letting anyone near that beacon right there. That's your one job, dude. And he flew right up on it. So this is if you're gonna do this, guys, you gotta be mindful. You gotta be watching what you're doing. You gotta be watching the beacons, though. This is not just camping here. This is watching the beacons, seeing where the reds are, making sure they're not getting too close, and making sure that we're holding an advantage. Well, right now, no one's doing that. So I need to make a speedy rescue of my team right now, because right now they're not focused on the beacons. Now, if I'm gonna be the beekeeper, I really gotta do my job. Now, it doesn't mean that I can't go out and camp at the beginning there and watch the beacons, but if my team is not, if they're not holding their own on the other things, the other positions around the battlefield, well, I gotta put in my next guy here. This is Diablo. You know this guy. He is my beaconeer. He's a beacon runner. Look at those guys still up there, letting this beacon get captured. No, not on my watch, buddy. I'm the beekeeper here. So the beekeeper is running around and doing a speedy rescue. There's a lot of advantages that Diablo brings to the table here, guys. If you don't see them, you haven't been watching these videos. But this is what I do. I had to drop out of my camper because my team wasn't running around and keeping them blue. That's all right. I'm a beekeeper. I know how to do this. So I hopped out, ran around, grabbed a few beacons. Now, I'm not the only one. Luckily, my team, a couple of my mates were doing it right. Now I'm going back here. I grabbed this one before. That pulled 1 or 2 back here. By pulling breads back here, then my team can go out and do other things. Now, look at this. I got an Ares after me. I've got their beacon blue. And now the beacon bar is going to start swinging back in our favor with the 4-capper. We were running way behind, as you saw. Now here comes a Titan after me. So I got 2 reds coming after me. Here comes a 3rd red after me. This is okay, he's off. Okay, here we go. Now we got 3 reds here. Perfect. You know what? 3 reds here, that means 3 less reds out in the battlefield. My team has got an advantage of the rest of their mates. That worked out just fine. Held that beacon pretty long time there, and I was able to make that speedy recovery. Now I'm just gonna come in here and hit the center and watch the green banner drop from the ceiling, because luckily Diablo was able to make that nice speedy rescue on his teammates. You know, this is all part of being a beekeeper, guys. It's not all glamorous. You're not all gonna get the top honor like I am at the bottom there, but you saw what happened. You saw what I needed to do. You saw what happened when I saw the panicometer going the wrong direction and my mate's not doing the right thing. You saw what I was able to puppet master on the reds, and we saw what happened at the very end there. Awesome pilots on both sides. If you see your name, thanks for the game. Peace out. I'm gonna call this battle Beekeeper, and I'll explain why as we go along here, guys. Enjoy my friends in the background and Status as they play their awesome song War. Perfect for this battle, guys. All right, so this is Dreadnought, as you know, and I put in my closed map deck. All these bots are more nimble, knife fighter, close-in type, range type bots. Not a lot of long-range bots, don't need them. When you have so much protection around the battlefield, so many cover spots, long-range weapons just don't have as much of an advantage. There might be 1 or 2 spots where you can do that, but you really can't guard 2 to 3 beacons while you're doing it, and you're really leaving yourself way out in the open, and it's just not as effective. So I put my closed map deck in here. This is Mjolnir, as you know. He got his name. He's my Phantom. He's got a Scourge on him, but then I switched over and got some rhymes on him. So he basically freezes him still while I am getting him down with the Scourge. It's a great opportunity to make a hybrid. You know, you don't have to worry about a lockdown weapon because the freezing does the job. The little ice cubes that you chuck at him, and then the Scourge will then also fry him too as you get in closer. So it's a great combination, especially for an ambush type bot. It's great, and you know, I'm still learning. You know, the technique of teleporting back and where to set my point, but I'm still getting pretty good at it. This is Buzzkill. He buzzes, then he kills you. And he's going to kind of go in there and back into the center beacon. I'm trying to get it back, you know. And that's kind of the inspiration for the name of this battle. There's a lot of different positions, you know, when you look at most sports. You know, football's got a lot of positions on it, quarterback and fullback and halfback and, you know, cornerback. I mean, there's so many, it's not even funny. You know, in basketball, you got a lot of different positions. You know, baseball, almost every group sport or team sport, and this is a team sport, almost every team sport has, you know, multiple positions. And each position might do multiple things, but they kind of focus on a certain kind of a thing. Well, I've always called myself a beacon manager, you know, and a beaconeer is what I call it, you know. And, you know, another way of calling it is a keeper. You know, a keeper is definitely a term used in sports, you know, and I call this a beekeeper because it's a beacon keeper. I'm the beacon keeper. I consider myself focused on the beacons at all times, managing the beacons. And, you know, there's a lot of different positions on the field. There's brawlers out there. There's, you know, range bots. People call them snipers. You know, there's a lot of different ways of playing this game. You know, the primary objective is capturing the beacons and either guarding them, defending them, or maintaining them. And if you do it longer than the other team, you're gonna win, and that's how domination works. Or the other option is to kill the entire other team, and that is just, sorry, not really a reasonable option when the battlefield is balanced. It certainly is an option when you're in there overpowering everyone, but it's hard to do that because, you know, matchmaking is gonna find you other amply and equally matched players, so making them all out is just not a reasonable thing. But you're going to want to do battle, and you're going to want to do combat, you're going to want to do range bots, but I found that beaconeering, being the beekeeper, is the least expensive way of playing this battle. It is one that you can do with just about any level builds. That's why I run level 6 bots and level 9 weapons, because I don't really do this for combat. I do this to mind the beacons. I'm the beekeeper. I'm the beacon keeper. And, you know, and if you learn how to do it well, you know, while your mates are out there having combat with the Reds and keeping them busy and keeping them occupied, now you can be the beekeeper, selectively choosing which beacons are the easiest ones to go after, as I've been doing. And, you know, I could have gone after a couple different ones, but this one obviously was left unguarded. That Titan walked away. I held it as long as I could. I saw that he was frozen, but then I saw my beacons going down in other areas, so I left the scene. I realized I had to leave that one and leave it go, but you know what? I was able to go back and monitor and keep the other other beacons blue or red, blue, and that's the most important thing. So yeah, make sure that, if you're looking for a style of fighting, there's lots of different ones, but being a beekeeper, a beacon keeper, it really is a fun one to do. Make sure that you're watching the battlefield all the time. You have to be mindful of that panicometer at the top to tell you what you need to be doing on a regular basis. But being a beekeeper is really a fun way of approaching this battle, and a lot easier for a lot of folks. Great pilots on both sides. If you see your name, thanks for the game. Peace out. I'm going to call this battle Watchful Eye, and I'll explain why as we go along here. Guys, enjoy my friends in the background and Status as they play their awesome song, WOODISH. I really like these guys, and they've been really so kind to let me use their great music in my background on my videos, set the theme, and have some real fun. So this is this episode's Beacon Rush battle. By the way, I'm going to put a link to them to their website on my description of this episode. Definitely go check them out, guys. A lot of great music and fun music, real edgy, real rough, and but a lot of fun. I tell you what. Anyway, so how I play Beacon Rush. I always jump out first with my Death Button Raven. I call him Frick because when he jumps up and does his little ambush attack, people say, "Oh, Frick!" And then I go for the center beacon like I always do to try to establish that dominance right to begin with, and then continue to press forward. And hopefully my mates are joining right behind me, and that's the way you play Beacon Rush, and that's how I always play. Lean into the pain, I say. I just keep pushing forward and build this containment zone around their home spawn area. The idea is you keep them all blue and you keep marching forward toward their home area, and don't let them get past you. Keep the beacons that you have maintained, and then just keep pressing forward. But unfortunately, not everyone understands this is the way you play Beacon Rush, and they cap and then they scatter. You can't scatter, guys. You can't let anyone past you. You can't let anyone behind you to get the beacons behind you. You have to keep kind of making this like wall forward. So you have to have a watchful eye. You can't just kind of walk around like, hey, where's the next group of guys to go fight? No. You need to be watching where they're going after your beacons. Don't let those beacons go. Make sure that you're keeping them maintained blue so that you can respawn back in that portal and keep pressing forward. Well, unfortunately, I don't have a team of mates that are doing that. So I have to have this watchful eye of where I might be able to do some advantage. Now, having a good hangar that allows me to kind of swoop in on stealth like I did there with Sir Nightmare was good. I've put together kind of a Beacon Rush hangar, and this one works really, really well. But I also don't want to waste time if I don't have. Look at, we're still at 2 beacons, and I don't understand why. But I've also explained to you sometimes, though, because when it gets really, really hot like this, and what's happening right now, and the reason the Reds are dominating right now is they are extending themselves. They're really getting into our grill with their builds, and we are burning them down a little bit at a time. So they are going to start meching out. And when you have 1 or 2 extra guys than they do on the battlefield, it starts to leverage out. But you've got to at least maintain it. So I got Diablo in here. He's my little Loki. Sometimes I run right in their faces to capture their attention, to get them to lure them into other areas. Sometimes I'm running covert, like this one here. I want to get this back beacon. I'm trying to get this to give us a 4-capper. We're behind on beacons, but you can see how they're starting to mech out a little bit. Also, they're getting this center beacon because we're just not holding them all that well. We're not maintaining. We're flying above and we're shooting down, but we're not getting down and dropping. I'm right behind that Arthur. He didn't know I was there, so his fart didn't get me. I'm going to go back over here and get this one when I try to get this 4-capper. This 4-capper. 4-capper is almost like a checkmate, but you got to make sure you can capitalize on it too. So I'm going to cap it first. Now I'm going to grab his attention. He's going to look back at me like, hey, who's shooting at me? But that's okay. Guess what? I got a bigger brother now. Diablo has served its purpose. Now I'm going to take you down. We're going to keep this 4-capper. I think we've got a checkmate, guys. They're starting to even out on the body count as we are, but we have a positional advantage right now. You see how we're all in their grill, and now there's only 1 beacon left. It's in the center. So where are they going to keep spawning? Right in the center where we can shoot them in the bowl. So they're not. They don't really have a good positional advantage right now. And my little running around, having a watchful eye, seeing where I can get some beacons and where I can reposition the power on the battlefield really did help. So if you're going to be playing Beacon Rush, you really want to have a watchful eye on where things are at, and you're really trying to establish a beacon dominance. You know, I had a pretty good amount of beacon and damage on that one, but as you saw, I was really just focusing on beacons to try to keep them maintained, be my beekeeper, and give us that advantage on beacon rush. Great pilots on both sides. If you see your name, thanks for the game. Peace out, guys. Well, friends, that just about wraps it up for another episode. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed what you saw and were able to take something you learned and use it in battle. I add content to my YouTube channel on a regular basis, so if you like what you see, please tap on the subscription button and then tap the bell to be notified when new episodes are released. Or just click on an old episode and maybe catch another tip that'll help you up your game. Also, Discord is a great way to connect with other amazing pilots, keep up on the latest news, and learn more ways to improve your gaming experience. Without question, one of the best Discord servers out there is War Robot's Master Pilots. Managed by some of the best pilots in the game today, it features a robust list of informational, tutorial, and informative channels to cover anything and everything related to this awesome game. So definitely take a moment to click on the link in the description of this episode and check them out. Finally, my goal is to provide you all with entertaining and helpful information that'll help reduce the frustration and increase the fun. So, if you feel these videos are helping you, please share them with a friend, someone you think might benefit from them. Well, that's about it for today, guys. As always, keep them blue out there, and I hope to see you on the battlefield. Just make sure you're having fun, because if you're not, you're doing it wrong. I love you all for your support. Play well. Peace out.